far I've gone, how high I've climbed, on my back's a 60.
Thank you, Mamie. Thank you very much for the generous, very generous introduction and your leadership for the Virginia Legislative Black Caucus. Welcome to the night of the Irish tenors. What are these doing? Well, good evening. We have a great crowd here tonight. 1,400 Democrats across the land. Thank you for being here. We have a special guest with us. The chair of the chair is a national position, a fellow from New Hampshire. And I know we have a tendency to embrace New Englanders, so would you welcome Ray Buckley from New Hampshire as the chairman of the National Association of State Democratic Party Chairs. And there's three other individuals here tonight that I want to recognize because I know we're all so proud to support them. And I know, we all know that Virginia would be a much different place today had they prevailed. Creed Eads, Jody Wagner, and Steve Shannon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your continued service. Mayor Dwight Jones of this capital city, congratulations. I had the privilege of serving with Dwight in the legislature. Did a great job there, and you're even doing a better job or even greater job here in the capital city. So thank you very much, Dwight, for joining us and welcoming us to this dinner. Governor O'Malley, living in Alexandria, I have to read the, I'm sorry, I welcome the Washington Post. Anita, I read the Washington Post. We followed your race very, very closely, and despite what was a red wave, you won by even more than you won the previous time. So we're anxious. I mean, it's a testament to his leadership. We look forward to his remarks tonight, and also very proud and thank you for serving as the president of the Democratic Governors Association. So thank you. Are there any young Democrats in the House? All right. Told there are as many as 200 of them in here tonight. Thank you for your energy and your enthusiasm and all the work you will be doing this year to elect more Democrats in the legislature, right? And I want to thank my best friend for allowing me to continue to contribute to the Democratic Party of Virginia, my wife, Karen. Thank you, honey. Finally, I want to acknowledge Dick Cranwell. He was a great majority leader in the House of Delegates, served with distinction as your party chair. So please, Dick, would you please stand and allow us to thank you for your service. And my fellow Democrats, let's also take a moment to recognize and congratulate the workers and Democrats who are fighting for their rights tonight in Wisconsin. Because as we join together tonight, we are also in the midst of a legislative session that clearly distinguishes the differences between our party and the Republicans. Our Democratic legislators are spending their days fighting to improve the lives of Virginians by creating new job opportunities. They are standing up for students, cops on the streets, and seniors, fighting against irresponsible cuts that will hurt their quality of life. They are promoting legislation aimed at making Virginia more transparent and accountable for every taxpayer. But instead of joining us and working with us to improve the lives of our fellow Virginians, Republicans are merely shaking their fists at Washington while standing in the way of progress. instead of focusing on creating jobs and standing up for a quarter of Virginia families who are one incident away from poverty, they have rolled out a narrow-minded and reckless agenda that might titillate the Tea Party, but leaves Virginia working families behind. Virginians deserve better. And after 8 years of fiscally responsible Democratic leadership that made Virginia the best managed state in the nation, Governor McDonnell is doing all he can to unravel the progress we made during that time. The governor's idea of a transportation plan is to pay for roads at the expense of our children's future. Taking money out of schools for transportation is not leadership. Clinging to an ABC privatization scheme that costs taxpayers millions while tripling the number of liquor stores in our neighborhoods is not leadership. Finally, balancing the budget by shortchanging Virginia's retirees and then claiming to have found a surplus is not leadership. And then we have our Attorney General. Folks, we have an Attorney General who thinks the Flintstones was a documentary. General Cuccinelli is far more concerned with what's happening in Washington than what's happening around the kitchen tables here in Virginia. And it even gets better. Republicans want to nominate a candidate for the United States Senate who spent 6 years complaining about how bored he was. Everyone knows that a sequel is never as good as the original. And in this case, the original wasn't very good. So my fellow Democrats, this is the time for us to renew our resolve and recommit to doing whatever we can to ensure that we expand our Senate majority and elect more Democrats to the House of Delegates. And we must lay the groundwork for 2012 so we can elect a Democrat to the United States Senate and re-elect President Barack Obama. And these goals are within our grasp. We've got the right message, and thanks to Governors Warner and Kaine, we've got the results to prove it. 50 years ago, a young, charismatic president asked Americans to consider what they can do for their country. Just a few weeks ago, another young, dynamic president called on Americans to out-innovate, out-educate, and out-build the rest of the world. He said, "This is our generation's Sputnik moment." That's why Virginia Democrats have been leading the way on developing clean, alternative energy, creating good jobs while protecting our environment for future generations. That's why Virginia Democrats are leading the way to make our schools the best in the world, because every child deserves a chance to learn and prepare for the jobs of the future. That's why Virginia Democrats are leading the way on real transportation solutions to rebuild our bridges, repair our roads, and invest in a functioning multimodal transportation system. Virginia Democrats indeed are leading the way on innovation, education, and infrastructure investments that will create the jobs and build a better future for our families. So we are here tonight because we share those values that set us apart from the Republicans. We know these values are the recipe for a Virginia that is more just, more equal, and more prosperous for every family. All we need to do now is put those values into action. Now is the time to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and begin again to make this party the vehicle. Not only standing up against radical Republican agenda, but electing good Democrats. But for working from the bottom up to effect real change in communities across the Commonwealth to improve the lives of our fellow Virginians. So I want to thank each and every one of you for the outstanding support that you've provided this party through high times and low. We have accomplished a lot together, but there is indeed more work to be done. And again, President Kennedy, I didn't know Jim was going to quote President Kennedy, but I should have known, right? President Kennedy said it best when he said, "With a good conscience, our only sure reward. With history, the final judge of our deeds. Let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking his blessing and his help, but knowing that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own." So thank you all. Thank you for what you've done and what you're going to do. Now let's get to work and elect more Democrats. So now it is my honor. We don't know what he's going to do, but we know what he has done, and we're so proud of what he has done. He served with distinction as our 70th governor of Virginia. Continues to serve this country as the chairman of the Democratic National Committee. During his 4 years, he made Virginia the best state to do business, best managed state in the nation, the best state to raise a family. He made record investments in education, helped preserve more than 400,000 acres of open space. And maybe most importantly, he provided the compassion and the courage to the Commonwealth after the Virginia Tech tragedy. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our good friend and great governor, Governor Tim Kaine.